Show you how to input some assessments and work with some of your basic settings and make sure that your reports are displaying the correct information. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this sample math section here, and I'll click open next to it. By the way, if you do not know how to rename the course, I've got another video on that. It's just a short video on that. Okay, so now I'm in the math section. The first thing I want to make sure that I've got things set up correctly. I need to make sure I've got homework, or sorry, I've got the major assessment categories. So homework, tests. I can have other categories such as quizzes, and let's maybe make another one, daily work. Okay, now this will weight the categories for the course in any given term. Now let's go on to adding an actual assignment. So let's say we've got another homework check. So I'll just go check number 2. We just type it in at the top here. And there's a couple really important things that we need to do to make sure this works properly for us. Number 1, we need to make sure we have an assessment category. Number 2, we need a date. And number 3, we need total possible points. So if I was doing standards-based grading, I would probably put that out of 4. That's most standards-based systems are out of 4. If you're not doing standards-based, just put whatever total you would like. And I'm just going to go 4 there and 1 there. Okay. And if you give it a moment, it will color code that for us. And a few things display here. We have the class average and the for check 2 and check 1 are displayed at the very top here. Okay, so the next, let's add a test now. So let's add a test, and the tests are going to be weighted as a course weight as to 40 here. And I'm going to do test number 1. And I'll give that a category. Very important, we give that a category, and we give that another test date. Total possible points, let's say we have this out of 100, and 75, we'll give this person an 80, and this person a 65. Okay, so that's test number 1. Now, I want to explain what these weights do here. So currently the default weight is 1, and you want to think of weights as the level of importance for the categories. So for example, if homework check number 1 and homework check number 2 are both weighted equally, they will both average in equally. If I want to make homework check not count, check 1 not count at all, I just go 0. If I want, now homework checks are only going to be counted in total as at 10% there. So it's not going to change the overall math grade dramatically, but this is a nice way of making certain assignments worth more within the category. So let's give an example of that. Let's write in test number 2. So this is later on in the year. Okay, and we're just going to give that, let's say this is out of 50 points, and we're going to give this guy a 68, 88, and oops, that's I forgot I'm putting this only out of 50 here. So 40, 35, and 15. Okay, and we let those colors just update. Now you'll notice something here, and I left it blank on purpose. You'll see this area that is highlighted red here, and that means something is missing. So we have to give that a category, and it also requires a date. So we'll give that, we'll do all of these in August. Okay, now let's say test number 1 was earlier in the year, so we can just give it a weighting of 1. But test number 2 was a major test that's maybe right before before report cards come out, and we want to make that a little give that a little bit more weight. So right now, currently, test number 2 will be weighted 7 times higher than test number 1, and that's pretty extreme. If you're doing standards-based testing, one thing you can do, so we could just do, I'll do a standard 1 here, and let's say we assess standard 2 again later in the year. Now for most standards-based grading, we want to use 4, and the numbers just represent a level. And, you know, Google Sheets only understands numbers here when we first enter it in, anywhere from 0 to 4, so that's a 5-point scale essentially. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to call that daily work, daily work. Okay, and I also need to give that a date here. So let's give that one a date there, and this one a date here. Okay. Now, and let's just put in some 3, 2, 1, and 2. Let's just enter that in like that. Okay. Now, let's say we have the same standard. Let's call that standard 1 again. We assess that again. For people that are using standard-based grading, we may just want to if this is the second time you've assessed that and the first assessment you don't want to count, you would just weight that as 0. Most standards-based grading systems are going to require at least a 1 there for it to show up on the report cards. Okay, and the student reports. Okay, now let's see what we've got here. I want to show you how to get set up with the report. So I'm just going to go back to this. I'm going to hit this back arrow, and there's a little link that pops up there. I'm going to select the course and select the term. And let's see what it looks like right now as it stands without setting anything up. So you can see here it is the report is completely blank. And if I look carefully, I can see that I have a bit of a date problem here. So the dates for the term 1 are outside of the range of the assignments that I just entered. So that's why they're not showing up. Let me show you how to get that set up properly. So I'm going to hit this back arrow, go back to home, and we'll click on settings. Okay, now up here we have term settings here. So we have the term start date and the term end date. And you want to be very careful to make sure that you have the exact start and end dates for your particular school, and pay careful attention to the years. Sometimes some people are putting in the correct dates, except they've left the incorrect year. So that's why the reports don't show up. Now, as I look in the settings, I'm going to leave everything pretty much as is. Just know that you can display your reports as a percentage, grade, GPA, or just use a descriptor like beginning, approaching, proficient, exemplary. If your school uses different names, simply type in and change that to whatever descriptor your particular school uses. Okay, so let's see what that did. I'm going to hit that back arrow up here again and go back home, and let's go and look at student 1's report. Okay, there we go. So now we can see things are showing up for us. We've got the homework, tests. I didn't assign any quizzes, and then daily work. Down below, I also have a list of the assignments, what they scored, and their corresponding weight. So students can see what, and parents can see what work didn't count within those categories. We also have a year to date. So currently this student has 69%. Okay. Now the other type of report that is available, I'm just going to hit that back arrow, go back to the home menu, and there is a report card generator. So we can hit report card, and from here I can select the course math, and I can, if I've entered in some information on the other courses, I could also include them here, here, and here. Let's go back, and then you can print those out individually. If you do want to print a whole bunch do some batch printing, you can print that multiple reports at once. I have some instructions here on the right hand side, but basically here's what you do. We go to File and then Print, and within here we're going to make sure that we have Portrait selected, and up here where it says Print, we're going to say Workbook, and then we're going to select all of just the students, these S1, that stands for the student 1, student 3, 2, student 3. So you would select all of those. So if I deselect those ones and just select those ones and click Apply, it will print all 40 students at once. Now I'm not going to do that right now because this is just for demonstration purposes. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you get started. Again, if you are having trouble with naming your courses, I have a separate video for that. It's a very short video. And anyway, hope that helps. Hope you enjoy using the ultimate Google Sheets gradebook.